This is where the fun begins.
Hello there. How's it going?
Hey everyone, Hybrid Toy Reviews here, and today we are taking a look at this Star Wars The Black Series 2-pack featuring C-3PO on the Battle Droid body and the Super Battle Droid. Super awesome pack. Now, I would not be reviewing this today if it weren't for my good friend, 212 Hunter. He did not want the C-3PO, he wanted the Super, but he was totally down with letting me borrow the pack for the sake of a review. So everyone, a round of applause to Hunter. Alright, so let's get into it. Alright, you guys know the drill. As always, you start by taking a look at the packaging. This is your standard Black Series 2-pack packaging with a giant window showing C-3PO and the Super off really well. There is a Black Series logo on the border up top. You have in your red stripe Attack of the Clones and red text C-3PO, and then, it's weird, C-3PO to the left, Super to the right. Usually they flip that. But, warning, 4+ Hasbro. This side of the box features some really cool artwork. I really dig this. And actually behind them, I didn't notice at first, you actually see, instead of just being the flat gray backdrop, there is art of the background of Geonosis. That's actually cool. We'll look at that when I open it. Wraparound window, wraparound red stripe, Black Series logo at the bottom. Round back, zoom ins on their separate arts, looking super cool. And then you get a bio in varying languages. Pause and read which language best applies to you. A red stripe, bunch of legal stuff, Disney Hasbro logos, barcode, more legal stuff, little window and hanger tab up top. Nothing to write home about, very standard stuff. Let's open these guys up and see what we're getting here. So here is C-3PO and the Super out of the packaging, and as promised, let's take a quick look at this little background art. Actually looks really, really cool. It's the whole arena. You kind of see the silhouette of some battle droids through the smoke there. Really cool art, actually. Like, this is really neat. I like it when they do just that little extra bit here and there. So now, on to the figures. So, we will start with the accessories as we always do, which only go to C-3PO. He comes with the Battle Droid Blaster, looking really good. It's in a dark gray plastic with a lot of silver, like, dry brushing over it. It's actually very well painted. I love the look of this thing, but we've seen this blaster a bunch of times in the line. We also have the Geonosis Battle Droid backpack, looking really neat. Again, we've seen it before. It features the pull-out antennas. It has a port on the side for the blaster to peg into for storage, and there are 2 ports there and 2 ports in the back, and they plug together like so. Backpack's hard to call an accessory because like it doesn't come off, like in universe he just always wears it. So yeah, that's just kind of part of what it is. So we'll set the blaster aside, and let's take a look at C-3PO. So from the neck down, this is very similar. Also floppy arm. What do we got going on there? That's weird. But yeah, alright, maybe this mold's been reused a bit. So this is your Geonosis Battle Droid, looking really cool with a C-3PO head on it. It is accurate to the movie. I do really dig it, and it's just what you'd expect. It has a lot of like a wash over it almost. It's very dark, very splotchy, but it looks the part. To bring in this Geonosis Battle Droid has been customized by good friend Commander Cook, but the only thing I had him do was add the commander markings. As you see, the shade of orange is a little different between the two. That's unfortunate, like that kind of like orangey pink that the Geonosis droids are. So they don't perfectly match, but they're pretty gosh darn close. And as you see, this guy just had little silver scuffs here and there for weathering, whereas this C-3PO doesn't really have much of the silver scuffing. It's just a lot of like, it's almost like an oil, kind of greasy look to him. But that's alright. The new part here is the C-3PO head, and that looks really good. It's done in a dull silver plastic color with a little bit of like silver sparkle here and there, and then some green, like camo green, like splotched here and there. So it's very, I mean, it looks fairly faithful to the Attack of the Clones appearance. And honestly, it just makes me wish that we had a C-3PO body. I think in the wrap-up here, I'm going to talk more about my thoughts on this pack in general. But yeah, I think that's probably what we should have got instead of the Super. But it does look really good. I like the look. You have the 3 dots in the center of the eyes, and it just looks good. So yeah, all in all, this is C-3PO as a battle droid. Let's run through his articulation. That way we're just totally done with him, and then we can take a look at the Super. As always, this is kind of your standard battle droid articulation. However, it has a C-3PO head, which is neat. So it does that thing the other battle droids do, where the neck pulls out like that far. Of course, it stops there. There's a hinge at the top of it, and then there's like a swivel on the upper part of the 3PO neck. So that's really cool. So of course you can get like a ton of rotation, a little bit of pivot. So I guess that's a ball joint, but doesn't have a ton of pivot. Arms can come up that high, not quite a T-pose is what it is. 360 at the shoulders. There's an upper bicep swivel there. This one's a little stuck. There we go. Single jointed elbows go past 90, and then there's a at the elbow rotation and an at the wrist rotation with hinging in and out on both hands. Mid-torso ball joint allows you to crunch that far forward, that far back, get a little bit of pivot and some rotation. Legs only kick out that far. They can go, 360, really. There's nothing really stopping it. Single jointed knees can go all the way back, and then the feet can point straight down, a little bit forward, and there's a forward-facing pin for rocker. So, all in all, that is what you would expect from a Battle Droid 3PO. I'm just going to stick the blaster in his hands, and just get him all cool looking. We'll send him off to the side, even though he's programmed for etiquette, not destruction. So, and it is a really cool figure. Like, it's what I would want from a Battle Droid 3PO. I just also want a 3PO with a Battle Droid head now to kind of complete the pairing. Let's take a look at the Super. So the Super Battle Droid is amazing. I'm really, really amped on the look of this guy. He looks really good, except for one thing that I hate. I hate this orange splatter that is all over the guy. Now, I get it. They're trying to say that he is scene specific, because if you flip him around back, he has that deco on his back from where he's taking a blaster shot, and the idea is this is the droid that Kit Fisto blocked the shot and he fell onto 3PO, and that's why his front is all orange. I don't like scene-specific stuff like that. Like, the 3PO on the droid body, that's like a whole, like, a 20-minute segment of the movie. Like, this, I don't know. I think that the debut of the Super Battle Droid in the Black Series should have been a more Army Builder-friendly version. The single pack without this. This should have been like an Amazon thing later on down the road. But, and I'm not saying that I dislike the Super, because under that orange paint, I love what we get here. But this probably isn't how they should have debuted him in the line. But, of course, he's flying off of Hasbro Pulse shells, so what do I know? But not super keen on that. I'm waiting to get the undirty one, and that's just where I stand. But now, to talk about what we get here, other than this just random orange splattering all over, he does look really good. He has a nice kind of metallic silver coloring to him. You have a little red dot there, bluing on the top of the head, and then you kind of get a gunmetal in all of the joints, and he just looks oh so good. You have sections where he's all smooth, sorry from the tripod. You have these like smooth, curved but smooth upper platform, like surfaces. Then you get like the ridged abdomen, where you can like crunch forward and back, and even like the crotch gear. That's neat. And he is so slim, but like also like broad in the shoulders. But even though you'd think he'd be super top heavy, and in a way he is, he has these ginormous feet. And so, like, you can get him standing doing stuff. We'll reference good old 1313 Tommy here. One of his tests is if you can get him standing on one foot, he's a good figure. And, like, never attempted this before. He's fresh out of the box. But, like, he's basically doing it. Like, this is a top-heavy battle droid. Like, he should not be able to do this. None of the other battle droids can do this. And look, I'm, like, doing shit that... It took a lot of table hits there to tip him. Like, this guy is sturdy. So, I'm really, really loving it here. Just looks phenomenal. He is a superbly sculpted figure. As you see, he's got his blasters mounted onto the wrists there. And just this guy looks great. Now, there was a completely hidden, not shown feature that the collectors had to find on their own. And I'm sure you've seen the photos already, but there's a little bit of a process to it. You have to start with the head. The head pops off, and to do so, you kind of just have to work it straight up. Then the head comes off, and then once you have like the chin off of the chest, you can pop the chest off. And inside is so much detail. This is in reference to the Republic Commando video game, when as you're shooting at them as the commandos, they start blowing off their plating until they look like this, and then they're dead. And so this is just supremely detailed. I love everything we're seeing here. Like, they put paint under here. Like, this is Hasbro putting hidden paint apps. Like, great job, guys. I'm really, really loving this. So, amazing sculpt work. I love everything going on here. And there's even sculpting going on underneath of the plating. Like, are you kidding me? Like, this is superb. So, to put it back on, if you put the head back on first, the torso won't work because the chin kind of overlaps it. So you have to put the torso back on first, the torso plate, and then the head, you have to kind of just nestle in there and push down. And like so, you've rebuilt your Super Battle Droid. Let's be fair, none of us are going to be displaying him blown open like that, but holy crap, does this look good. I just love this. This is insane. So, let's run through his articulation. So, this guy actually has a lot of hidden articulation here. Of course, nothing going on in the head. I mean, there's no rotation there. The upper shoulders as if there's alternative shoulders. The shoulders are on these ball joints, which allow him to, like, go in and out, and only that far out. And, like, there's no butterfly joints, just the ball joint kind of gives you what you can. It's what you're going to have, you know, having a big, like, plate around the shoulder. But that's fine. 360 at the shoulder, of course. There is no bicep swivel, but there are single jointed elbows that go to 90, and then the joint swivels at the bicep and at the wrist. And the wrist can rotate and then hinge in and out on both sides. So that's nice. So you can get him in, like, a good blasting pose. And I love this. He features a mid-torso ball joint, which allows him to crunch that far forward, which ain't much, that far back, which is a lot, and it's completely sculpted all the way up. There's no gapping. I love to see that. There are ball joints in the hips. They can kick all the way up, all the way back. You can get a little rotation. I mean, more than a little. That's actually a good bit of rotation. But then there's also a thigh swivel in there as well. Single jointed knees can go past 90. They kind of tab together. And then there is a swivel at the top of the knee, not at the bottom. And then the feet can point basically straight down, little bit forward enough. And then there's a forward-facing pin for rocker, allowing you to get him into some decently wide stances, both feet flat on the ground. Also features peg holes. Those are always handy. And yeah, just this guy looks insane. Let's do a couple of size comparisons here. So, of course, we'll bring in the Battle Droid-bodied 3PO. Super stands a little bit taller. I feel that's accurate, as Battle Droids in general kind of stand a little taller than 6 foot. Here he is next to the Commander. Here they are next to Kit Fisto, because this is a scene-specific set. And then here is the 03 Clone Wars Mace Windu, because as we all know, these two got some history here. And yeah, so as we see, they scale nice. So, end of the day, what do I think of the Super Battle Droid and 3PO 2-pack? Look, I'm going to be honest. I love the Super Battle Droid that's underneath of that orange paint, and I really, really like the 3PO and Battle Droid body. That's actually something that I've been wanting in the line for a long time. I think this 2-pack should not have happened. There are things that I would have changed, things that I think are just very straightforward, the right choices, and Hasbro didn't make them. I'm not unhappy that either of these figures exists. Let me make that entirely clear. The Super Battle Droid should not have this orange splattering. We should have just gotten the normal release. And this 3PO actually would have worked great in a 2-pack. It should have come in a 2-pack with a Battle Droid and with a Episode 2 3PO, with a head-swapping feature. They've done it in 375 before. Like, Hasbro has made that in the wrong scale. It needs to happen in 6-inch. All this makes me want is a 3PO body with a droid head. I'm already talking to Commander Cook about it. So, I'm not saying that this 2-pack shouldn't have happened. I'm saying that this version of this 2-pack shouldn't have happened. This 3PO absolutely belongs in a 2-pack. But in the Super, I'm not really digging the Super scene-specific thing. I'm waiting to purchase some for myself on the general release, I think a lot of you should probably do the same. If you're looking for the 3PO, I gotta be honest, there are people buying this 2-pack to army build this Super Battle Droid because they either don't realize that the single pack is coming or they don't care and they want this now. This 3PO should be available fairly cheap on the third party. So, like, or on third party markets, eBay, Mercari, like, just go check out, wherever people sell their stuff. I'm sure you can track down this 3PO pretty cheap because people don't want to army build 3PO headed battle droids. And that's the other thing, is they could have made this an army builder pack, make the super, weathered and call it, Battle of Geonosis, and then given us a battle droid swappable head. That way you can either have battle droids or you can have 3PO headed battle droids. That way, people might be like, ah, shit, I'll go and buy like 6 of this so I can just army build both forces at the same time. Hasbro kind of didn't think this one through. This is like a one and done because of this 3PO choice. And if you're going to make it a one and done, give me the episode 2 3PO with the battle droid head. That's where I'm at. I'm frustrated with how it worked out. However, the sculpting on the Super is amazing, and I love the 3PO. Thank you again to 12th Hunter for letting me review this pack. I greatly appreciate it. And that's it for now. So thanks everyone for watching. I'll catch you next time. Until then, may the Force be with each and every one of you, and goodbye.